On Get Up a few days ago, Bart Scott and the Get Up crew picked the Bills to win this game. Now you would think that after his horrible takes last year and having to eat his words, Bart Scott would have smartened up and stopped picking against Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid in the playoffs. Now in this video, Mike Tannenbaum mentioned that penalties from our tackles have killed us all year, which they have. But guess what, Mike Tannenbaum? Those tackles played a great game and kept Mahomes clean in the pocket. All I heard in this video was what Allen and the Bills had to do to win the game. They didn't mention anything about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid, the three great equalizers. Now, all three of these guys will be forced to eat their words when the show starts, and I can't wait to hear what they have to say. Take a listen. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like and subscribe.
Huge step for them, their first road playoff game of this iteration in Kansas City. And we all know that how badly Josh Allen needs this win here. And Dan Orlovsky was telling me yesterday, and it dovetails into what I know your point is, they need to get Allen through the beginning part of this game. He's going to be so hyped up and so much competitiveness in him. The Bills themselves need to sort of get him through the early part of the game, which plays to how you believe they need to win this game.
Yeah, I think that James Cook needs to be a featured guy in this game. And I agree absolutely with what Daniel was talking about. Because when you go in this game, you finally got the opportunity. You're at home against Patrick Mahomes, the situation that you've been clamoring for years. And, you know, guys like Josh Allen are always hyped up and everything. James Cook can be that guy that kind of gets things settled down early on. He's such a dynamic player, not only running out of the backfield, but as a pass catcher as well. I think he's a guy that can create mismatches against this very good Kansas City Chiefs defense because of how you can deploy him out there.
It's about the first 15-play script, right? It's about coming out, getting Josh into a rhythm. You go out there in your 15-play script and you do everything, and you see how they react to it. It's about gathering data and being able to see how they're reacting because everybody's game plan is specific. The game plans get really tight in the playoffs, right? And those who have the best game plan and able to jump on teams early are the ones that get out to.
What do you mean by tight? When you say they get tight?
They get tight. They're small packages. They don't have big game plans. It's about playing fast. It's about, especially when you have some familiarity with the opponents. Me, D. Wood, TB, we've been in these situations. We've gone out and upset people on the road. And also at home. But it's about, being able to play fast and be able to, because people get tight and people get nervous, right? Because the moment overcomes them. That's why we saw those glazed looks over Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott's face last week, because it's the same thing, but, everybody reacts to it differently.
I want to ask a question. Will, you could put the pics up on the screen here, because as you'll see, a lot of people in this room, 3 of the 4 to be specific, like Buffalo here, the Bills are a 2.5-point favorite. But I want to talk about the home field advantage piece of this. The Chiefs have never played a road playoff game in this iteration, and they've had a lot of problems on their offensive line. Mike T never stops talking about their offensive tackle.
Yeah, and it's ironic because Bart talks about the road wins, and we got D. Wood, who played great for us, which is they led the league in penalties, Greeny, and it's going to show up on this weekend because of the crowd noise. And Jawan Taylor and Donovan Smith, they have struggled all year long. So we're going in the game talking about Josh Allen. We're going to be walking out talking about those penalties killing the Chiefs.
Well, that's the point, because now Bart was telling me in the makeup room this morning, you're going to go on a silent count and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is that how much of an advantage is that for the Bills' defense?
Huge. When that's why everyone wants to have home playoff games, because you have all of the advantages in these particular situations. That crowd up in Buffalo is one of the best home environments, particularly at this time of year, because it's cold, the elements, the crowd noise, it all plays a factor. And we've seen time and time again with this Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, particularly their tackles, they've had issues all year long. Home, away, it doesn't matter. So it will be a factor in this game.
Yeah, and it compounds when you have receivers that aren't consistent with their hands. So you get nervous about that. And if you drop one early, does that set the tempo? Like now you're starting to think, oh, man, I dropped the pass, and you carry that to the next play. You talk about also being able to make the adjustments, right? Late shifts and motions from the defense and inverting your safeties, make you have to have communication with your receivers trying to get into the right play. So communication is key on the road, especially from an offensive standpoint. If you have a veteran team in Buffalo that's going to not show you what type of defense they're in to post-snap at times, will the receivers still be able to make those communications with their eyes because it won't be communicated pre-snap?
Yeah, I think that with Kansas City, with Buffalo, Josh Allen, This Kansas City Chiefs defense, they're the best at giving up the least amount of explosive plays.
Right.
So I think the key for this game, like for Josh Allen, how patient can he be? We used to do that all the time when I was in New England going up against Peyton Manning. Can make him go the long, hard way. If you don't give up explosive plays, can he be patient enough to have those long drives and ultimately score? That's going to be the test for Josh Allen in this game.
And let's very quickly, coming back to Dan, who I think notably is the only one taking Kansas City, and you've consistently mentioned these Bills' defensive injuries. For the fans who aren't really aware, exactly what are we talking about, and how significant should we expect this to be?
Too many to list. I mean, they were without Rasul Douglas, the cornerback, last week. It sounds like he might play, but they lost another cornerback in Benford. They lost the middle linebacker in Terrell Bernard. Geez, their punter got hurt in this game. I mean, like, honestly, it was just no. But I mean, my point is,
it's big. That's real position is key in this.
Yeah, like they play an A.J. Klein at middle linebacker, who they signed off the street 2 weeks ago. He was packing up, no joke, packing up an RV to take his family to Key West, and got the call from the Bills. Can you come play for us? Now he's maybe going to have to start with the green dot. Like, I just think I think ultimately it's too much for them to overcome.
Greedy, the great equalizer, all that. Josh Allen with his legs. And you want to calm down a guy that's really competitive?
Let him run.
Yeah, design runs early in the game.
I agree.
Same thing make you laugh, make you cry, because the ball gets slick when it gets cold out there. And if he has one of those turnovers, and then now they have to play behind, and say, oh, here we go again.
He's got real big.
I know he don't have